here at World Ag Expo for the third year in a row here in California, of course, the #1 state for milk in the nation, and we're in Tulare County, the epicenter of dairy in California. And we're here because that's where the milk cows are here and the dairy producers are here. And at World Ag Expo in the dairy building, we're talking to dairy producers, encouraging them to look at South Dakota as a place to not necessarily leave California and move to South Dakota, but locate an expansion, help one of their kids or grandkids move and start dairying in a location that is especially profitable for dairying. We've had some good success in the last year. Last year we permitted 15,000 more cows to come to South Dakota. We're up to about 95,000, not including those head, but about 95,000 now. Cows already hoof on the ground, and we're looking to double that number. As you might remember, Bell Brands selected South Dakota to locate a brand new cheese facility here about a year and a half ago. They are set to open up that facility in about 3 months. We're going to need about 500,000 pounds per year of additional milk as a consequence of that. And they're looking to double that again in about another year. And so we'll need still another 500,000, a total of 1 million pounds per day more than we've got right now. We'd actually like to double our cattle herd in South Dakota over the next several years, and we're working hard to attract people that can make that happen. Yes, we've been very pleased with the response. When you look at those 15,000 new head that have been permitted, most of that comes from California dairymen who have elected to create a new location in South Dakota and add dairy cows to our herds. So it's something that we've been working on, and it seems to be working. I think also we've been initiating a new site analysis program with a number of counties in South Dakota. We have 66 counties in South Dakota, and 24 of them have raised their hand as we've approached them and asked them, do you want livestock development in your county? Some have not elected to say yes, we want them, but already fully a third have said yes, we want to explore the possibility of having livestock development in our county. And the process that we're following is we're working with GIS mapping. So we're mapping where shallow aquifers are found, we're mapping where hardtop roadways are found, mapping where three-phase power might be found, or where setbacks are required because of existing residences or city limits. And through that process, we can help a county identify locations within the county that would be suitable for a dairy, for example. And then we're approaching those landowners whose sites have been identified in that way and asking them, Mr. Smith, Mrs. Jones, is a dairy on your property, is that something you'd consider selling some property to accommodate, or sharing in an equity arrangement to accommodate that sort of thing? And for those that say, yeah, I'd be interested if the price was right and the person was right, so we can locate identifiable in advance those spots where a dairy might be accommodated. And by going through that process with the county commissions in those counties, we also found that the counties become more educated about what are the qualities they want to be looking for in a responsible dairy producer who might come to their county. And by being aware of those things in advance, they're not caught unaware when someone does propose a dairy in their county. Oh gosh, we've never done that, or I don't know anything about that, and oh no, the neighbors might not like that. We're not getting that reaction. We're getting more of a, oh yes, we've been looking into that, and that's something we'd consider and like to have. The water situation in South Dakota is actually very good. Of course, we have the Missouri River that runs right through the center state, and it is a very large source of fresh water. But more importantly, on the eastern side of the state, we have quite a few aquifers that are not fully appropriated. There might be 1 or 2 spots in the whole eastern side of the state that could not support a well for a dairy or drawing down the aquifer further. The vast majority of eastern South Dakota where the dairying is being found would have the ability to support more water acquisition. The other thing that I think that's noteworthy about South Dakota is the permitting efficiency we have. If you try to permit a new dairy here in California or a dairy expansion, you're looking at a process from application to the granting of the permit, if it's granted at all, that could last many years. In South Dakota, last year I mentioned we permitted about 15,000 head of new dairies. Those permits will typically take from start to finish about 6 months, and it could be even shorter than that. Well, I think South Dakota is a good place for all sorts of businesses. We have no personal income tax, no corporate income tax, but for dairies, we have particularly good elements that fit into their needs. As I said, we've got rapid permitting, we've got low-cost feed, we've got easy availability of forage. We have lots of corn, we have lots of corn available for silage, we have ethanol plants, and that makes dried distillers grain available. We have an area in the southern part of the state that has lots of alfalfa, and so as California moves from forage crops to nut crops, South Dakota remains a state where there is abundant forage at very reasonable costs. On the flip side, the value of milk in South Dakota is a little bit better than it is here. So costs are lower, revenue from milk sales would be higher, so the profit margin is wider.